All right, we got to see some Aidan Hutchinson with the Detroit Lions, and I thought he played well. I mean, he looked like Aidan Hutchinson. I figured he would be the most pro-ready, really player in general coming out of the draft. And to me, through one preseason game, he looked like the most pro-ready player coming out of the draft. Maybe you could have some quibbles. This is the first play that he would take in a Lions uniform, and this is one where it's like, okay, maybe this is a little bit unpolished, and this is really kind of one of the only plays I saw like this, where the way it works is that it's going to be a play action to the top of the screen, and then Mariota is going to roll out towards the bottom of the screen. Hutchinson is the edge rusher here, and with the offensive line blocking to their left, this now means that Hutchinson, who is lined up to the offense's right, he's going to be unblocked here, and typically what you hope happens is he runs in to defend a run, and then with the, the fake, this allows Mariota to get by him. That's typically how you want this play to work. And look, as you see, it does work. Hutchinson moves in to stop the run, which I would still say he should do. I think you could argue he went a step too far. That's maybe the one thing I would say. But again, it's the NFL. You're learning this stuff on the fly. This is why you get the preseason reps to kind of figure out how much space you should take, how far in exactly should you run in this scenario, and he'll figure out a sweet spot at a certain point. Because, in college, at this point, he could still run down quarterbacks, but the difference is that guys in the NFL are quicker than guys in college. Watch how Mariota is going to be able to get by Hutchinson there. Not for a ton of yards. Hutchinson did make the tackle. It was not a great play, so by Mariota necessarily. So I think you could argue good recovery by Hutchinson. But just if you want to nitpick, you can nitpick. This is a play you can nitpick. I don't really think it's a big deal, but I'm going to show it all. I'm going to show the good and the bad. Let's show the good. In fact, showing this play and saying it's good feels like a bit of an understatement. This was an awesome play by Hutchinson. This was just fantastic. And this is what we saw him do consistently in college, were plays like this. And worth noting, he's going up against Jake Matthews here, who is a really good tackle. So he's going up against good competition. It's going to be a one-on-one matchup in the running game, and watch what he does. Watch his explosiveness and footwork to just get right by Matthews and make a quick tackle for a loss. That's impressive. I don't care that it's just preseason. That's an impressive play. That's an awesome play that he just put on right there. And everyone always likes to say, it's just preseason, who cares? Well, they care. They're trying to get the reps, and I always do feel like these reps matter. These reps are impressive. There's just not that many of them. That's my issue with preseason, small sample size. But I like seeing him being able to do that, and I certainly think it's something you can get excited about if you're a Lions fan. We saw his, high motor come into play, which is definitely something you can't help but notice when you watch Hutchinson. It's again going to be a one-on-one matchup, this time against the right tackle. They moved Hutchinson around a decent amount, which I'm interested in. I don't know exactly why they decided to do that. Typically in preseason, you are a little bit more simple, but I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to see what side he plays best at, or maybe they wanted to see what side the other guys play best at. I don't know, but that's what they did. He's going up one-on-one, and he's really going to win this matchup. Look, right here, he is going to drive the right tackle back, but the guard, who, was not blocking anybody necessarily, gets over, and he's going to help out Hutchinson. So good play by Hutchinson. This is a win in my opinion, but not a huge deal because the guard is right there. There's help on that side, so you can only do so much. Look, as you see, when the guard comes by, he is able to take Hutchinson out of the way, but he does it by grabbing onto the inside of Hutchinson's jersey, which is not going to be a penalty. They do not call it at this spot. But here's where Hutchinson's high motor comes into play. Hutchinson does not just try to run backwards and try to move a different way, and he doesn't try to go through the guard right here, because you're going to have a hard time going through a guard in this situation. Not what you want to do. Hutchinson is smart, where he says, hey, you're grabbing my jersey. If I go side to side right here, there's really only two things you can do. Either let me go, in which case I can go and get a sack, or not a sack, but potentially a sack, or at least a pressure, or you hold on, in which case it's going to be a penalty. Look, as you see, that's exactly what he does. He twists and, he draws the penalty. So he still was able to sort of help out on that play, but he drew the holding call, which was the more impressive play due to he keeps going. There's no quit in this guy, and you certainly notice that when you watch his film. And finally, something like this. So this was another very good play. He was impressive. I mean, you couldn't help but notice him when you were watching the film, even if you weren't, looking for 97 every single time, if you were just watching the tape, you would notice him because he was clearly there. It looks like it's going to be 2 tight ends double teaming him, but it's going to be that first step. Again, this guy's so explosive. I compared his explosiveness to TJ Watt at times in small spaces, how he can still find ways to win. Look at how really quickly he gets to the inside. So at this point, no one was really able to get good hand placement on him at all right away. And right here, he immediately gets through. Because of that, he then gets over, makes a move on the halfback, and flushes Mariota out. Now, Mariota would end up getting into the end zone for a touchdown right there. I can't show the whole play. Copyright only allows me to show a few seconds before I get flagged. But he did get a touchdown, take my word for it, but a good play from Hutchinson to create that pressure in the first place, and he was not the contained guy on that play either, so, it's not a bad play, I would say, either. I really think another Detroit Lion should have been able to get over and make that tackle. So yeah, that's what we saw of Aidan Hutchinson. Very fun. He lived up to the hype in one drive of a preseason game, albeit a long drive, so we got to see a decent amount of him, I thought, and he even took a couple plays off in that drive, but still, it was fun for the small amount of snaps that we saw from him. He had a couple of highlight reel level plays, and even one thing I always say about Hutchinson is it just feels like his losses, they feel like they'd be annoying. He feels like he'd be annoying to block. I remember one of the things I put in my notes is he feels like the person in a pickup basketball game that takes defense way too seriously. Just like this annoying, like, why do you got, just calm down, right? That's what you want to tell him, I feel like, if you're blocking him. But of course, it's great football to not do that. It's great football to be relentless, make things difficult on your opposition, and it's only going to, I think that he's the kind of player who's only going to get better as the games go on. I think a lot of times rookies kind of like, they still make flashes, but need to, can kind of struggle a little bit. He's someone who, he's pro ready. There's no denying that. The guy is used to 1,000 snap seasons. The guy can, has every move in the book already. He's going to be effective right away, and he's showing it already, beating up on actual NFL competition and looking like a star already, which is, promising. And whereas some of these other guys that I've been impressed with, like, we've already seen Thibodeau and Walker play in a game, to me, Hutchinson, I liked him better in college, so my prior is coming into effect here, but to me, he played better here as well, where those guys both had, like, okay, well, that wasn't ideal. Okay, you want to still improve on that, but it's preseason, who cares? Hutchinson doesn't really have that. Like, I had one nitpick, which is totally a nitpick, because for all I know, that's what the defense wants him to do. And the rest was highly positive and very exciting. So, yeah, that's what I think. Exciting first game from Aidan Hutchinson in a Lions uniform. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.